Hey friends, I've got two quick projects in this video. We're going to start out with this little piece of scrap wood. I'm taking some cream puff from Paint Pixie and a wet wipe and just giving it a little bit of paint like a wash on here. I'm going to put it all the way around our surface and on the sides. You can use any color that you like. I just prefer the cream puff. We'll give it a quick dry. And then it will be ready for our stencil. So I'm using a little bit of Paint Pixie in the key lime, and then I'm also going to use the new prickly pear. Those kind of go well together. I wanted to make this tree just a little bit different color. So this is a stencil, and you can get those on Paint Pixie page right now. She's running a special. And then I will have a coupon code in the description that you can use for anything that's regular priced and get 15% off. So I mixed a little bit of those colors together, but I've got more key lime than anything. You want to tap off some of your paint. You do not want to load it and then not tap off because you want it light. So I just tap off on a paper towel. And I'm going to go in, and that should be enough paint to do the whole little tree here. So these stencils are from Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara, and Josie from Paint Pixie is carrying these in her shop. So get a free brush with the stencil. Now I'm taking a little bit more of that new prickly pear. It is a metallic, and putting that on top of it. So I'm just using just a little bit, tapping a little bit off again of that, and putting that on top to give it more of a metallic look. I love these stencils. They're so easy to use. Now, if you get out of the lines, you can always go back and paint around it. That one came out really well. Couple of little places there, fix that, and now let's give it a good dry. You want it to be nice and dry before you do anything else to it. Now I've got these little snowflakes here, but they looked a little bit big on here, so now I'm just going to take a little bit of the Crimson Tide metallic paint, and we're just going to put some little berries on this tree. So I'm just taking one of my little tools, little dotting tools, and we're just going to use that, and we're going to put berries on the limbs to give it a little bit more of a look. You could leave it plain if you like. Totally up to what you like. I thought the little berries looked really cute on here. And we're going to get those just sporadically on here. No rhyme or reason where I put them. All the way to the bottom. There we go. How cute is that? Okay, now I am going to go ahead and grab my Bee's Knees brown wax. And I'm going to put a little bit of that around the edges just to give it a little bit more of an antique look on there. Also, this goes well with any decor. And now we've got a shelf sitter. So this will be able to sit on its own. I see a couple of little places I wanted to add a little bit more of that red, and I think that finishes it off. Isn't that sweet? Cute gift, shelf sitter. Now this is our second project. We're just going to take one of the little wood rounds. You can get these at Amazon. I'm going to do it in cream puff as well. Just wiping it on with a wet wipe. And now I'm going to go ahead and paint the little snowflakes I'm going to use, and I'm going to put that same cream puff on there. Give all those a little paint. And now I'm going to take white sand. I dried those well. And I'm going to take a little bit of the white sand metallic. I'm just going to put my finger in it. We're just going to use it just like you would use any other kind of buffing or any kind of cream, just to give it a little highlight that's going to give it a little bit more of the metallic look. We'll put those over to dry. Okay, and now we've got another brush. You want to make sure your brush is nice and dry. We want to make sure everything's dried up well before we put our stencil. Now we are adding the next size tree, which is a medium. We're using the Peridot, which is another metallic paint. I'm going to take some of that off. I did use some Pixie spray on the back of these stencils. You can get that from my Amazon shop on my link tree. It just helps your stencil stay on better. We're going to do all the way down to the bottom. And this is just a dark green metallic. It really is going to look beautiful. Okay, now I do see a couple of places I got a little bit under my stencil, but we're not going to worry about it because we can go back with our cream puff paint and touch that up in places that we need to. So we dried that up well. And now I'm going to put some snowflakes on this one. I tried some different ones and I kind of decided to go with one pattern that was a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to put some tacky glue on the back. You could use wood glue. Don't try to put your molds on with hot glue. They won't stay on well. They will pop off. So I'm going to use some of these smaller snowflakes to put on here, and I did find that mold from Hobby Lobby. I've got a few of these, but I may not have quite enough. And these can be molded quickly and taken out of the mold with a little cornstarch, and you don't have to even wait for them to dry or anything. With this Pixie Doh, it is moldable, so you can still mold with it. Now, I decided maybe I needed one more. Wasn't quite enough of what I wanted. I kind of like an odd number there. So let me go ahead and touch up that paint on that one. So that's looking good. Now I'm grabbing my Pixie Doh. I'm going to get a little bit of that out, put a little cornstarch in my mold. And this is a little small mold they had last year at Hobby Lobby. I got it on sale after the season. I'm just going to put a little bit of the cornstarch in there. And you're going to see how easy it is to use this Pixie Doh. You just want to take some out. It looks like marshmallow cream. It's very flexible. When it dries, it's still flexible. To take a little bit out, roll it in your fingers just to like in a little bitty ball. And we're just going to press it down into the mold. And then just take it out. There, it's already done. You can put these in your freezer for 20 minutes and then pop them out. But this is such an easy mold. You can do these fairly easy. So now I've got a couple of extras. Try to paint them. They keep wanting to move around. Decided to grab this tape up here and go ahead and put them on that. They are a little small and they do move around a little bit. So go ahead and put them on some tape. It makes it so much easier. Give them a little coat of that same cream puff. Not sure that we'll need both of them, but I wanted to go ahead and do an extra one just in case. Okay, so I'll put a little extra paint I saw I needed on those. So let's get this dry. And we've got a little bit more of that metallic to put on these. So I'm just going to put it on all three of these and on the ones here that I might have missed. Okay. And then we're just going to take that one. It's dry now. We're going to take a little bit of our glue and put it on the back. And we're going to put that last snowflake on. Right there on our tree. How easy is that? But then I thought it looked kind of plain. And I said, let's just add something else. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one, this extra snowflake on the very top and let that be our topper. Now I like it more. So now I'm going to grab the Prosecco paint, which is kind of a champagne color. And we're going to take a little bit of it and use some highlight of it to put around the edge. It needed just a little something. This will be either a large ornament or you can hang it on your wall. You can put a block on the back and use it as a shelf sitter. So just use it just like you would any other kind of product that you just put on for some highlight. I like the way that looks. But I said, maybe just a little bit of something else, right? So I got a little bit more paint, and now I am going to put some little berries on this one with the Prosecco. So we're going to use that same dot tool. And I'm going to go around on this one and put some berries on it as well. They are not as bright as the red, but they do add a lot to the tree and just give it a whole nother look. You can add less or you can add more as you go along. After you look at it, you might want to add a few more. But I love the way that looks, and you can see the little berries on there. It showed up really well. A little place there, I want to kind of put a little bit more of the Prosecco. Just do you. We're going to give that a good dry. And I saw a little place that we need a little bit more of. Got a little baking powder on there. Cornstarch. So now I'm just going to go around and touch those up just a little bit more. And then around my trees where I got out a little bit, I took a little bit of that cream puff and just touched up in there. Made that look a little bit better. Give that a good dry. Now we want to put a little hanger on it. So I'm just going to use a little piece of my jute material that I have over here, my stash. And we're just going to put a little loop on the back of it. I'm just going to add some hot glue. This shouldn't be too heavy to hang. So now we've got the little loop on there, and now it will hang. Let it dry well before you do try to hang it. That glue does need to cure. And then you see the 2 projects that I did today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please watch and then hit that subscribe button. Thank you for joining.